حسينا حسينا وحسينا حسين حسينا حسين حسينا حسينا وحسينا حسينا وحسينا حسين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, our dear viewers. Thank you for joining us once again on live from Karbala here on Imam Hussein TV. We are honoured to have you once again joining us as we broadcast to you live from the Holy Land, the Holy City and the holy, buzzing, vibrant area of Karbala. We hope that you have been enjoying the shows over the past few days, and we hope you have benefited from the shows and the various methods that we have used. You may have seen our Facebook page being updated with all the latest footage, with behind the scenes clips, as well as on our Instagram, our Twitter and on our YouTube. So please do not be afraid to get in touch. Just Google Imam Hussein Free TV, everything will come up, and we look forward to hearing from you, our dear viewers, for our mission is to serve the servants of Aba Abdullah, and may you all be amongst those who are the servants, and we'd be honoured to serve each and every one of you. As we mentioned, the city is getting busier every day, day by day. The borders are getting more and more full, and alhamdulillah, the servants and reminders of Aba Abdullah are there, present in the air for us to take hold of and to walk with from Najaf to Karbala. Each step that we take is to testify to that great man and say in the end, Labbaika ya Abbas, Labbaika ya Hussein. And just to give you an idea and an impression of how busy the city is starting to get, we went out just earlier this afternoon just to find out for sure how busy the city is getting. 6 days until Arba'een. 6 days until around 25 million people arrive in the city of Karbala. 6 days until the city is heaving with servants, with lovers and with people affiliated with Imam al-Hussein and Abu Fadl al-Abbas. 6 days to go, and you can already see the crowd. Day by day we've brought to you the increasing numbers here, and the pictures I don't think even do it justice. The streets are packed, people are leaving to make space for fellow Zawar to come in. Such is the akhlaq of many of these people. As many more pour in, they all send their initial salutations to Abu Fadl al-Abbas, who you can see behind us with his golden dome. And one by one, they'll all arrive and come together to mourn and cry and lament for these beautiful personalities. The numbers are only going to get bigger and not smaller. And it's just a testament to the courage and the bravery of the Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib, in that nothing will stop them from across what happens to them. There are a fair number of reports just that came through from the other day, another set of issues in Samarra and in Baghdad. Yet the numbers don't stop. The number of mourners continues to rise, and people continue to call to Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. One after another they enter this holy city in their thousands, in their millions, and inshallah one day in their billions to the holy land of Karbala. You could see the phenomenal amount of people behind us just going past and flocking, and it was quite beautiful to see the amount of them that already warmly, they kind of warmly welcome the Zawar making their way in. Those who already live in the area, those who are serving, warmly welcome each of the Zawar. And they have a common phrase in Arabic which means welcome, O Zawar. And it's quite lovely to see that. To see the Shi'as all coming together, the oppression left behind. They are safe in the holy city of Karbala under the guardianship and under the guardianship and overlooking nature of Aba Abdullah and Abu Fadl al-Abbas. We are within their area, we are within their domain. and they'll take care of us, inshallah. And I think a few of the things I'd like to bring out from the clip that you would have just seen is the constant flow of traffic. The constant flow of one after another person, no gaps in the road. And we said the number will only get bigger. So you may be thinking, how is that even possible? There's no more space in the city. They've just installed just outside, there's almost a lane system. So there's a two-way system. If you're going one way, you have to go this way. And if you're going the other way, you have to come back this way. And they've got a barrier in between. And that's just to really assist with the heavy traffic flow of people. Thus, the way in which it's going to work and the way that my experience in Arba'een last year is that it gets so busy that when you come outside, you can barely even move. You travel with the crowd. And if you need to go one way, but the crowd is taking you another, Inna Allah ma'as sabirin, you have to stay there and just bear the tide. It gets crazy busy, but everyone heads to either Abu Fadl Abbas or Imam al-Hussein, so you'll never be disappointed in the area you end up in. As well as outside the shrines inside are getting busier and busier. More people seeking their hajat, more people clinging onto that grave. As we said in the poem yesterday, I come and kneel before your scented holy grave. I cling to it so close, for your company I crave. And this is quite literally what people are doing. As soon as they grab onto that grave, they cling as hard as they can. They seek their hajat. And for those who accuse us of grave worshipping, I implore you to understand what we are really doing. We are asking this person, this infallible, this magnificent personality who's so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask on our behalf. The same way that when we were all youngsters, and even myself to today, when we would like something from our parents, we may ask our mother for something, or our father for something else. Or we may ask our mother to ask our father, because we know that's how the system works. And the same way, we're not saying a prayer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't get answered, but what we're saying is that there's probably a more likely chance for the prayer to be answered if someone so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to deliver that message. Thus, ensure you take the opportunity, be it clinging onto the grave or looking at the dome behind me, the stunning dome that no person, forget even being Shia, can take their eyes off for one moment. Don't be afraid to ask for your hajat. Ask for anything. Ask in a polite manner though. Don't just say give, give and give, because they know what's best for us. Ask, seek their permission, seek their advice, and inshallah you will receive. And receive just like do the Zuwar when they are making their way to Karbala, the food that the servants of Abu Abdullah give to them. We saw earlier on in the series, if you had joined us in the first or second night, that we went through some of the areas of the walk from Najaf to Karbala and from Baghdad to Karbala, and we saw the various mawaqib serving large amounts of food. And a few people were asking, does this generosity and does this food distribution occur in Karbala as well? Thus, what we wish to show you now is the answer as to whether the food in Karbala is distributed for free, and if so, to what quantity. And inshallah, you'll find out the answer on this clip. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. As you can see, an incredible amount of pots being prepared, filled with food, filled with rice. You can just see the sheer amount and quantity of food that's being produced here. Lovely, hot, almost chicken and rice with vegetables. A very simplistic meal, yet one that's so important to all of the Zuwar. There's about 20 containers here filling God knows how much food. It's outstanding. All of these people are working for absolutely free. There is no charge for their services. Yet look how tough the work is, how heavy the work is, how hot it is here, and how long they have been working. It's roughly about 4 o'clock here in Karbala, and the dinner time is starting to kick in. So this is 2 hours still to go until roughly dinner time and Maghrib time, and they're still working this hard. All of the Zuwar will get fed, and don't think this is a one-off. There are places like this all over Karbala where levels of food like this are being served. It's astounding, it's beautiful, and it's quite simply incredible. It's important to notice that the zawar that are serving here, this isn't just for one day. They've been doing this for many days, and they'll continue to do so till the time of Arba'een, which is still a few days away for both breakfast, lunch and dinner. Every single meal of the day is covered. It's phenomenal, it's outstanding, and it's just, you know, I can't even bring the words to show the dedication and the devotion of the khidam of Aba Abdullah to offer such a service. And just imagine, you saw 20 odd pots there with incredible amounts of rice and chicken and vegetables being poured in. The same was occurring just behind, the same was occurring to the other side of the road, and the same occurs all across the circumference of Karbala. Various different meals, various different servants and various different recipients, all embarking under that same rationale for giving and taking, and that's for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein to come and commemorate his ziyarah. A few people mention, what's the reward for the one who serves the zawar of Aba Abdullah? Surely it's better off for them to think about themselves first and to go and do their ziyarah. There's a point to each. However, I wish to put this to you. When someone has travelled a long distance, the one thing that they treasure the most is a host. And anyone who helps the host settle down the new guest, they're held in high regard by not only the actual host himself, but also the guest that is visiting. Thus, in this case, we have the guest, the zawar. We have the host, Aba Abdullah, and we have the helpers of the host. And I ask you this, do we not think that the host will say thank you to his helpers? And do we think Aba Abdullah will only say thank you, or will he give them much, much more? Thus, I ask you all, in your own Husayniyah, wherever you are in the world, to make sure you serve fi sabilillah. The benefits are massive. They are huge. And you'll only really reap the fruits and discover the bounties of such a service when you carry it out. And then you'll have moments in your life where something will happen and you'll think, why is this taking place? And you'll think back to that one spoon of rice that you gave to the zawar next to you who didn't get any food, and you can think, Aba Abdullah gave me this through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I served that one piece. In fact, one of the sheikhs from back in London, he mentioned a story to us where he said there was a majalis that took place. There was a gathering that took place in remembrance of Aba Abdullah. And in this majlis, there was latmiyah, there was food, there was the lecture and so forth, and everyone finished and they went home. The organizer of the majlis, in his dream, Sayyid al-Shuhada came to him and he said, oh man, write down every single name of the person that helped in your majlis, because Jannah is wajib upon them. I make Jannah wajib upon them. So the man said, okay. He made the list, he wrote everyone down that he could remember. He wrote down the reciters, he wrote down the attendees, he wrote down the cleaners, he wrote down the lecturer, everyone. He went back to Aba Abdullah and he said, oh Ibn Rasulullah, oh grandson of the Prophet, here is my list. Here is everyone on my list. Imam Hussein had a look. And he said, you're missing someone, and gave it back. So the man was confused. He went back, he went through everyone, and he said, no, this is everyone. Imam Hussein said, no, think. Again, the man returned, he said, look, this is everyone I have. Who is this person I'm forgetting? Imam Hussein looked at the man and said something quite beautiful. He said to him, there was a moment when the big container that was boiling the tea, the fire below it went out. The flame extinguished. And someone came along and his contribution to the majlis was to light a match and relight the tea, relight the fire for the tea. And this is the person you have forgotten, and this is the person who you forgot to tell me. However, they will also obtain Jannah for serving my majlis. And this is the beauty of it. Anything you can do, anything you can offer, fi sabilillah and for the Ahlul Bayt, you will be rewarded magnificently. And inshallah, you will see just now in a couple of moments in our next clip some of the further aspiration and devotion and love of the Zuwar of Aba Abdullah, their thoughts, where they have come from, how long it has taken them for travel, and inshallah we wish to play this clip to you right now. ما اسمك شيخنا؟
والله عملت صالح.
وأنت من وين؟
نيسان.
كيف أتيت إلى هنا؟
والله أريد من الله النصر ويسر العراق عامة.
My name is Mehdi Saleh, and I am from Maysan province. I came to visit Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, to ask God to protect Islam, Iraq, and the Shia of the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them all. I've been walking for 12 days since I left my home, and now I have reached here. And I ask God the Almighty to help us and to save Iraq and the Iraqis.
inshallah زيارة قبول في امان نسألكم دعاء ان شاء الله في امان الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ما اسمك؟
اسمي محمد جميل عطية الموسوي.
وأنت من وين سيدنا؟
من حاضر الناصرية.
وكيف أتيت إلى هنا؟
كيف أتيت لزيارة منقذ الإمام الحسين عليه السلام وأخيه العباس لمواساة. إن شاء الله. وأنا أواسي العم الكبير أبو العبد الله.
My name is Muhammad al-Musawi, and I am from Nasira province. I came to visit Imam Hussein's holy shrine and his dear brother Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, peace be upon them both, to ask God to bless us. Also, we hope to do the visitation of Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, the one who gave his life as a victim to Imam Hussein and his visitors. All of the people come to visit Hussein from all over the world, be it Iran, India, Russia, Pakistan, London, France, Canada, the list goes on. May Allah bless them all.
وتلقيت الإمام علي بن الحسين وعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصاب سيدنا الإمام الحسين عليه السلام وأخيه العباس وشكرا لكم ولقناة الإمام الحسين عليه السلام.
حبيبي فيما أسألكم دعاء إن شاء الله زيارة قبول إن شاء الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Behind us you can see the Ziyarat of Arba'een printed on this big poster, this big billboard. We're still on that road just towards the shrine of Abu Fadl al-Abbas, and it's put here so that all the Zawar, as they're coming in, if they haven't got their books, they can just have a read of the Ziyarah, the very highly recommended Ziyarah as taught by our holy sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far and Sadiq. And what you find is that as they're walking towards Abu Fadl al-Abbas, they'll be reading this Ziyarah and almost asking for his permission to enter this holy area. They say that Abu Fadl al-Abbas, you need to seek his permission first before you can go and see his brother. That's how defense and protective he was over his own brother Imam al-Hussein. So inshallah we'll be speaking to a few more Zawar as we go, and in fact we have a few Zawar just here who are reciting the Ziyarah just to show what it's actually like. He made every effort and put his heart, mind, soul and life at the disposal of your mission to liberate the people from the yoke of your ignorance. O Aba Abdullah, this is an extract from Ziyarat Arba'een where we acknowledge your efforts. We acknowledge the incredible sacrifice you made to uphold the true wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen and to show the haqq against the falsehood which was those who are with Saqifa. O Hussein, O my master, O my role model, I wish I could give that same devotion, desire, or even just 1 ounce of it to also testify to that wilayah of our king, our master, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. And I wish also for my family to also be able to testify in such a manner, just as your brother did, just as your sons did, just as your nephews did, just as your friends did, and eventually just as your dear daughter Sayyida Ruqayya did. I wish for all of my family to be part of those who are able to give their lives in your way, who are able to give their lives in the way of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Imam al-Hassan and Mawlati Fatima al-Zahra. And I wish for all our lives to be given for the sake of Nabiullah Muhammad, ultimately leading to Allah Azza wa Jal. And inshallah, may we be granted this opportunity to then reap the rewards in the next life. For this is our duty whilst we are on this earth, to observe that wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen through to our very last breath, to ensure that the last three lines we utter from our tongues are Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is no God but God. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. And Ashhadu anna Aliyan Waliyullah. This is our life. This runs through our veins, and this is instilled within our hearts. This is the first thing we hear in both our right and left ears. This is the last thing we hear whilst soil is being put over our bodies 6 feet under. And inshallah, this is what we will erase from our graves, saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah Aliyan Waliullah. And inshallah, our lives and the way in which we live our life will testify to this throughout, inshallah. I'd like to now bring back to what was mentioned in the last part of that clip, where we mentioned ziyarat of Arba'een, a ziyarah taught by our holy sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. An absolutely beautiful ziyarah. Many people have said a few things about ziyarat Arba'een and whether we should recite it, what's the significance behind it, etc., etc. I need not delve into that. However, I wish to present to you a hadith from our dear holy 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam. And inshallah, may our dear Lord hasten the reappearance of his dear son, Imam al-Hujjah, inshallah. So Imam Hassan al-Askari says what? He says there are 5 signs of the mu'min. 5 signs of the mu'min. The first, that in his salah, he reads the basmala out loud. So instead of just saying takbir, Allahu Akbar, and then going silent, he says takbir, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim out loud. This is the first sign of the believer. The second sign is the one who prays 51 units of salah, of prayers, each and every day. 51 units. So this is the 17 that are prescribed as a wajib, as a must, as well as the extras, known as the nawafil, the extra prayers that surround Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib and Isha. The third sign of the believers is the one who wears rings on his right hand. Whatever kind of rings. Usually people wear the aqiq, the feroz, various different rings that you can wear, and there are many ahadith about the various significances behind each of the rings. So that is the third one. The fourth one is the classic sign that we all love, and that is the mark of the Turbat al-Hussein on the forehead of the Shia, of the believer. Someone who spends a lot of their time in sajda, in prostration to the Lord of Hussein, the Lord of Ali ibn Abi Talib, and eventually they gain a mark on their forehead known as a turba mark. And finally, why have I mentioned this hadith? Well, the final attribute of the believer is the one who recites ziyarat of Arba'een. The one who recites ziyarat of Arba'een. This ziyarah, my dear brothers and sisters, could take years of lectures, consecutive daily lectures, to dissect and understand fully. Thus, I ask you to go through that ziyarah and to then come and perform the ziyarah itself. They go hand in hand. Reading the ziyarat of Arba'een as you approach the shrine of Abu Fadl al-Abbas, and also ensuring that you're doing it at the time of Arba'een. It's a phenomenal reward for those who do it. Thus, do everything you can within your ability to take part in this ziyarah every year on the 40th day after the anniversary of the martyrdom of Sayyid al-Shuhada and his beloved companions and our role models. And millions of people do it. As we mentioned, it's known as the largest peaceful gathering in the world. Last year, 20 to 25 million Zawar came into the holy land of Karbala to perform this ziyarah. And this year, we are expecting many more, which of course means that security gets tighter, security gets busier with checking each and every person. And to give you a flavour and an idea of how busy some of the security checkpoints are getting, and they start from way out before Karbala and they continue at smaller intervals as you reach to the shrine of Abu Fadl Abbas and Aba Abdullah, we wish to show you a clip from today, early in the afternoon, as to just how busy the security checkpoints were and how the security officials were dealing with them. We just wanted to give you a better picture as to how busy this is. This is one of the checkpoints leading to Abu Fadl Abbas. There's still many more to come. Security is very, very tight. Very tight. People are reciting the salawat, as you can hear, to try and calm themselves due to the busy nature, the amount of searches that are going on. And this is all in a bid to try and keep Karbala secure, to keep the servants of Aba Abdullah safe, and to ensure the smooth running of the Arba'een. We are currently in a street about a 10 to 15 minute walk away from the shrine of Abu Fadl Abbas. And you can see again the amount of people that are arriving. It's becoming difficult to walk, it's becoming difficult to maneuver your way around, but it's fine. We're happy because that means that there are more mourners making their way to Imam al-Hussein for the Arba'een. This crowd is only going to get bigger, it's not going to get smaller. And the main thing is just keep your patience when you're walking through. It gets difficult, you get shoved, you get pushed, but the last thing you want to do is say something out of turn. All of these people are here for one reason, and that is to be the Zawar of Abu Fadl Abbas and Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. As you could see, the busyness and the hustle and bustle of the security points, and we ask Allah to bless the security officials for doing such a tremendous job, and long may it continue, and long may they be inspired by Abu Fadl al-Abbas to protect Abu Fadl Abbas's dear brother Aba Abdullah, inshaAllah. It's important for me to mention that the order of the order of the characteristics that I mentioned in the hadith are not actually in that order by Imam al-Askari. I have to take the apology for that, but we will find out. I will double check the order and address it tomorrow, but I'm sure if you jump online you'd be able to find out the order quite easily. Just type in Imam al-Askari, the 5 signs of the mu'min. It's a very famous hadith, and so long as we are trying to aspire to at least fulfill one out of those 5, then it's a good step forward to becoming the perfect mu'min in the eyes of Imam al-Askari alayhi salam. With the security points at bursting point, we shouldn't fail to forget those who in previous years have not been so fortunate to eventually make it to today as a result of those who have caused catastrophes in the holy city of Karbala. Year by year we have casualty after casualty for those coming to Karbala, and unfortunately sometimes those who have been in Karbala. So inshallah, if I may, to take this opportunity to recite Surah Al-Fatiha with you all, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless their graves and to enlighten their graves with the nur of the Ahl al-Bayt. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل Muhammad. Inshallah, that is the last time we have to recite a Surah Al-Fatiha for the Shaheed of the Shia faith. However, Imam Ali has told us that those who wish to follow in my way, they must know that they will live a life of austerity and trouble and tribulation. And we're prepared for it. We are simply prepared for it, and nothing will stop us from being prepared for it, inshallah. As we continue with the next few nights, we wish to bring you footage from across Karbala as mentioned. Thus, please do text in, tweet in, Facebook in, Instagram comment, YouTube comment, anything. Any of your feedback, ideas or points, or even various things you would like to see for us to address, so we can bring to you, our dear viewers, what you wish to see. We are serving the servants of Abu Abdullah. You are all the servants of this great man, and we wish to serve you. We wish to be honoured with this ability to serve you all, insha'Allah. We move on to the next area. We just spoke about the beauty of ziyarat of Arba'een. And in the previous clip just before, we saw the big board behind me that contained this beautiful ziyarah. And we managed to catch up with a dear brother who had just finished his ziyarah from reading from that exact board with tears strolling down his face. And we managed to capture some of his emotions and his thoughts on this visitation, and also the thoughts on the visitation from a few others. So inshallah, connect with the clip, connect with the Zuwar, and may you be amongst those who will be there next year.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ما اسمك؟
اسمي سيد باسم العميدي.
وأنت من وين؟
My name is Sayyid Basim Al-Midi. I am from Hilla and I came to Karbala by walking. I walk to visit Imam al-Hussein and will continue coming every day of all my life. Even though they kill us or cut off our hands, our feet, we promise we'll continue visiting Imam Hussein. May Allah bless Iraq, the Iraqi people, and save the visitors of Imam Hussein.
إن شاء الله وندعيكم بالتوفيق والسعادة إن شاء الله.
الله زيارة قبول إن شاء الله.
الله يزيد خيركم، نسألكم الدعاء إن شاء الله.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are now with one of the servants of Abu Fadl al-Abbas, again just outside his shrine on this road, where they've been serving up some hot food, some hot drinks for the Zawar who have just finished their journey to this holy city to replenish their energy levels before they conduct their ziyarah. Alhamdulillah, we're with Abu Zahra from the Holy Land of Arbaeen, and he's just going to explain to us a little bit as to what he does, the kind of food they serve, and why they do it, inshaAllah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فمن يعظم شعائر فإنها من تقوى القلوب. جئنا من كاظمية المقدسة كاظمية موسى بن جعفر.
We are here to serve the visitors of Imam Hussein as much as we can. We stay here 10 days every year offering different kinds of food for the visitors of Imam Hussein. And my name is Abu Zahra Al-Majid from the Holy Land of Kazmiyya.
واللي نقدم المخنمة والبيض على عبارة عن لفات نخدم هنا 10 أيام كل سنة وكل عام. هذا موقعنا وهذا موكبنا أمام أبو الفضل العباس سلام الله عليه شعر الإمام العباس.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are again on the same street outside Abu Fadl al-Abbas, the shrine where we've been brought by one of the servants, the Khadim of Hussein, brother Dakhil from Karbala, and inshallah he wishes to tell us his experiences about ziyarat Arba'een and the general feelings behind it before him, inshallah.
نعزي صاحب الأمر والعصر والزمان وخليفة الرحمن وقاطع البرهان وسيد الإنس والجان بهذا المصاب الجلل مصاب مولاي.
We came to visit Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, to show our sorrow and sadness and sympathize with Imam al-Mahdi. And may we send our condolences to all of the Shia around the world, as well as our Islamic authority in Najaf and all of the world in this tragic event of Arba'een of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein is our life. Hussein is the life. Hussein is the religion. Hussein is the morals. Hussein is our everything within this life. We came to visit Imam Hussein to win paradise and to ask God to bless us, to bless our country, our Islamic world, and to live in peace in the name of Allah, in the peace of Islam and the peace of Hussein.
بأن الحسين عليه السلام هو جنة في الدنيا وجنة في الآخرة.
الزيارة يعني زيارة في شيء كبير مثلا، وإحنا إيش ما نقدم الحسين وبالفضل عباس.
We came to visit Imam Hussein to ask God to give us paradise. And Imam Hussein and all of the Imams are all of our ways to paradise. They are our way to God. They say themselves, who let us know God, they will light our way to see God in our hearts and to thereafter know our religion by their sacrifices and their blood as well.
من خلال النبي محمد والإمام الحسين وأهل البيت جميعا.
إن شاء الله.
وش ما نقدم لهم بالغالب نفيس إحنا مقصرين، لأن هو استشهد في سبيل يعني يثبت الصلاة ويثبت العقيدة وكل أخلاق الحميدة.
Some of their words are just so moving. The man who said, "Our morals are Hussein, our life is Hussein, our death is Hussein, everything is Hussein." And I think just those few words really summarize and capture the feelings that are going round at the moment. I was just having a look outside and the streets are still busy. It's 20 to 1 here in Karbala, and usually by midnight over the past few days that's literally been, the streets have been empty, but they're still busy, they're still vibrant at this time. And I think it just shows how busy this street and area is getting. What we wish to show to you inshallah tomorrow is a few areas where the people actually sleep, because obviously it's so busy, the hotels are so busy, like we found out yesterday in one of the previews we showed you. So just where do all the other Zawar sleep? And inshallah we will bring you such footage tomorrow, so do make sure you get in touch and stay tuned, you don't want to miss out on that. And further exclusive footage, perhaps from Bayn al-Haramain. If you enjoyed the footage from Bayn al-Haramain, let us know. We would like to capture more, whatever you desire. No matter how hard it may be for us to move and film when we're outside because of the busyness, we'll do it. Whatever you need, we will do it. We are at your service. Just going back to what one of the speakers or one of the guests said just there, he mentioned he was from the holy land of Arbaeen. Arbaeen last year, when I had my first opportunity to go, I had a very special feel about it, an extremely special feel about it. And it fills me with joy and happiness and pride almost, that those from Arbaeen, those from Samarra, those from Najaf, all come to Karbala. They all leave their princes, they all travel with their princes that reside in their home areas to Karbala, because all of the Ma'sumeen, all of the Malaika, the angels, all of the Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib are in Karbala, either in physical or spiritual form. They're all there, they're all present. Thus it's important to remember that whilst you are here, do not forget to send your salams to Imam al-Hujjah. You never know if he may be standing next to you, and quite literally from how busy it is, you may not know if that person next to you is him. You may have just walked past him in the street. Who knows? Inshallah, when he sees us, or when we see him, he will be apparent to us, so we can pledge our allegiance in his hands. Would like to leave you with one final clip, inshallah, with just a further image of the road outside Abu Fadl Abbas's shrine, just round the corner in fact, and it was a very, very busy junction. We just want to show you where this intersection occurs and how packed out it's getting, how excited people are getting. The flags are all in the air, and you'll see the colour now. Just walking round in this area, there's plenty more people making their way. The time of Maghrib is starting to set in, and many more visitors are on their way to Abu Fadl Abbas and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The numbers increasing, the emotions are raising, the flags are raised, and everyone's coming together, helping one another to ensure the betterment of this spiritual experience. You can see the crowds, I'm sure you can start to feel it at home. And this is what we're trying to bring to you. As much of this feeling and buzz and energy that's going through this city it's only going to increase. It's going to increase, it's going to get louder, it's going to get busier, and inshallah it's going to be productive and safe. Pray for all of the safety of the Zawar. Pray that this Arba'een inshallah goes as planned, and inshallah you, our dear viewers, will be in our prayers. And we say that sincerely, our dear viewers, you really are in our prayers, and do not be afraid to send your own prayers to Aba Abdullah, to Bab al-Hawa'ij. They are there for you, they are there waiting for you to speak to them, to engage with them and to interact with them. They are waiting to hear your voice, they are waiting to hear your pleas. Imam Ali will be looking over as well and smiling when he sees people speaking to his dear sons, his dear beloved sons. So our dear viewers, on this note, we wish to end tonight's program. However, we will be back tomorrow at the same time, at midnight Karbala time, at 9 p.m. Greenwich Meridian time, the time in London. We look forward to having you, but please, please, please make sure that you get in touch via the various social media networks. We want to hear your opinions, we want to hear your thoughts, we want to hear your du'as, we want to see your poetry. Send it all in, get in touch, and inshallah may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of our efforts and grant us the visitation of Aba Abdullah in this life and the next. And we wish to end by sending our condolences to our dear lady, our dear master, our dear role model, the mother of Aba Abdullah, Mawlati Fatimat al-Zahra. And inshallah we will start by sending our salutations upon Muhammad the Nabi through to Muhammad al-Mahdi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, we remember. Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, we remember. Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, we remember. Unlike a flower you blossomed at your birth. Unlike a flower you blossomed at your birth. I give my loyalty for what it is worth. I know that I don't do you justice, but please accept my efforts, oh mistress. Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, we remember. We are the Shia and we love Fatima. Please intercede for us in Akhirah. We will never stop telling everyone about your tragedy, your unborn son. Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima.
Hussein, Hussein أنوار حسين حسين أنوار حسين أنوار حسين